It might look like right now I'm sat in a shed. I'm not sat in a shed, I'm sat in a summer house, but it does look like I'm sat in a shed and it smells like a shed. Maybe we can get some LED lights in the background somewhere, maybe some foliage. If anything, we've got Nessa. Every little helps, I guess. I've got a bunch of questions here asked from my best friend, ChatGPT, and we can have a little chat and you can get to know me a little bit better. So the first question is quite an important one, and it's, what is your Starbucks or coffee tea order? So if I go to Starbucks, I have two different orders. I will either get an iced, how does it start? An oat shaken espresso, brown sugar latte, something like that. There's like all those words jumbled up into some way. I'll get my self-editing to double check for me. And then my second order would be a coffee frappuccino with oat milk and then 3 pumps of cinnamon syrup, and that is banging. That tastes so good. If you're craving a pumpkin spice latte, that's kind of the closest thing you can get to it when it's not autumn time. I've not actually had a pumpkin spice latte yet. I need to have one. Although I have noticed this thing recently with coffee, if I have too much, my right eyelid like twitches aggressively, and I don't really know where that's come from or why that's happening, but either way, I'm not going to stop my coffee obsession. My body just has to get used to caffeine because I love coffee so much. What's your toxic trait when it comes to shopping? My toxic trait is that I get too tight about spending money. Like, I don't look at anything as worth for what it is. Like, I will look at a t-shirt and it might be £30 and I'll be like, is it worth it though? Is it worth £30? How much did it cost to make that? Like why would I want to buy that right now? And also, I'm a vintage-aholic, so that being said, I did buy a £30 t-shirt, I just remembered, but it was worth it. It was a COS t-shirt. I don't know if anyone has seen the viral COS t-shirt, but I tried it on and I immediately was like, okay, I understand why people are spending this amount of money on a t-shirt because it does fit really nicely. And it just looked expensive, so that one I'm like, that is 100% worth it. That is where I would spend £30 on a t-shirt. Other than that, I'm never spending £30 on a t-shirt ever again. If I can go into vintage and I can see that it's £5, then I'm not going to spend the price that they're asking for. Say for example you wanted to get a Levi's branded t-shirt. If you walked into a Levi's shop, it would be about 40-50 quid. You could go on Vinted and get it for about £2. There is just never any purpose in buying things brand new when you can just get it on places like Vinted or even charity shopping for way cheaper. Again, that is simply because I'm a tight bastard and I don't like buying anything new. Unless it's a COS t-shirt that's £30 and it fits really nicely around my little tiny arms. There's not really much muscle there, but it makes it look like there is. What is the weirdest compliment you've ever received? I used to know this person that would give me the most backhanded compliments, and like it would be so insulting whilst also like trying to be nice at the same time. Like I could never quite determine what that compliment was. But I remember someone told me that my acne looked like red freckles, and I was like, that's not comforting. Like, you're telling me that my acne is so obvious that it just looks like really red freckles. That, okay, so you're telling me it looked like I've got a rash all over my face. Thank you very much. That's the best compliment I could have ever received. But thinking about like any positive compliments I've got, I get told I look majestic sometimes, which I always love and appreciate when someone says that. But like when someone says you look like a Greek god, I'm like, are you telling me that my features are a little bit fucked up, but like in like a majestic way? Like, because I'll take it either way. Someone actually complimented my leopard print shoes the other day, which that was like a really big deal to me because I bought those shoes with the intention of them being like really obviously, you know, I need everyone to look at me right now. Look at me in my leopard print shoes, I'm so cool. And she complimented me and I was like, clock it, you know? If you could only wear one brand for the rest of your life, which would it be? Okay, so back to the topic of Vinted. I buy a lot of Diesel stuff from Vinted. I love the Diesel jeans. They fit me really nicely. They make me look kind of rich whenever I wear them. Diesel also has a nice amount of graphic tees, so I feel like Diesel would be the one that I'd be like, yeah. And then also another brand that I could probably see myself wearing because I'm a basic bitch is probably like Urban Outfitters or something, like, or Jaded London actually. I feel like my top three is Diesel, Jaded London and Urban Outfitters. Either one of them I could see myself wearing for the rest of my life, basically. My wardrobe is pretty much Urban Outfitters anyway. Also, Bershka could be a good one, but then also Bershka sometimes has a little bit of cheapness to it. Like, no offense Bershka, but like, you can tell it's Urban Outfitters made affordable. Whereas Urban Outfitters, some of the stuff is actually really good quality, whilst other bits I'm like, this is shit. Urban Outfitters hoodies. I got quite a few for Christmas last year because they were like the perfect hoodie for me. They fit really nicely, they're cozy, and then within like probably 6 months they all broke, and like I was like, that is not worth the price. Like I could have gotten a much nicer hoodie for that price that they're selling them at. But because it's Urban Outfitters and all of us edgy people think that Urban Outfitters is a place to go to shop, when in reality it probably isn't. Like, you should just look secondhand. But with Urban Outfitters, they make it look secondhand, so that when you're buying it, you're like, oh, it's already got that roughness to it, that's like, it's really good quality, and then you're like, oh no, it's actually roughness and it's shit quality, so it's just a shit quality hoodie. What's the most random thing in your bag right now? Oh, I know what's in my bag right now, actually. So I go to Wetherspoons every Tuesday with one of my friends, and I always say before we go, should I bring a game? And I always bring a game with me, and we never ever ever play the game. It's just kind of the concept before. And I brought a game with me that's Get the Ick. I don't understand how the game works. I've got no clue how the game works, but I just love reading the cards because they're so funny. And I kind of made up my own game from it. My idea for the game was going to be that you both pull out an ick and then you guess which person would find it the most ickiest. Alternatively, another idea I had, which is kind of like a bitchy judgmental one, which suits me perfectly, is we pull out the ick and then we both think of someone that we know that would do that. Next question is, what's something you're manifesting for the rest of the year? Money. I want shitloads of money. Look, you know when people say like, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness? Money would buy me happiness right now. If I had like an infinite amount of money, I could move out and I could have my own apartment and I could have another dog. There's so many things I could do. You know, I could move to London, I could have my loft apartment that I've always wanted. I would just be so happy, so happy if I had a lot of money right now. So I'm manifesting a infinite abundant amount of money that I can't even control the amount of money I have. That's the level of richness that I'm manifesting. Fuck all the people that say money doesn't buy you happiness, because it 100% would right now. The next question is, how do you want people to feel when they see your content? I want people to feel relaxed when they see my content. I've spent so long trying to be someone that I'm not. I've spent so long trying to like be funny and make people laugh and be this like really loud person, but I'm really so far away from that. And I think in an attempt to try and be that, I think I lost a lot of motivation from it because I was just trying to be someone that I wasn't. Whereas when I am just simply being myself, I enjoy this whole thing a lot more than what I initially was. And when I stopped caring about all the views and all the stuff behind it, I simply just enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy just talking to a camera. So yeah, I guess I just want people to feel relaxed, and I want people to be able to view this as just a space they can come to chill and just listen to me yap. Like that's all I really want, you know? What emoji do you use way too much? Should we find one that I use way too much? This is the custom one that me and my best friend made. The one that me and my best friend use every day pretty much. It's like, it's a good way of saying like, you will never get, like it said, you will never guess what. You will never ever fucking guess what. If a hot guy matched me on Hinge, I would just send her a screenshot of him and then put that emoji. Like, that's the one I use probably every single day. What is your biggest ick in people? Really nice people. I really hate nice people. I think they are the fakest people of society, and they have so many bad intentions behind the trying to be the most caring person for everyone act, and I can never believe it. Like when someone says, oh no, I'm not judgmental, I'm not a judgmental person, I'm actually really lovely. I'm like, well, that's bullshit, because if you can't sit there and admit that you've not judged one person at least in your life, bullshit. Nah. I had an ex-boyfriend that really hated how judgmental I was, and he would always call me out for it, and I'd be like, but what's the issue? Like, they don't know that I'm saying this about them. Like, they have no idea. Like, what's the issue? Like, it's just me expressing my opinion on something that's walked past me. If I think, what the fuck are you wearing? I'm not going to say it directly to them. I'm just going to be like, what the fuck was that? Okay, moving on. Like, me on Dress to Impress, oh my god. When I see some of the combinations of their outfits, I think you are absolutely disgusting. Like, what the fuck are you doing wearing that? Who in their right mind would piece those outfits together and be like, oh yeah, that's a perfect match? That is when I'm judgmental. And you know what it is about those people as well? You can tell I've met a lot of them in my life, and they've always ended up being the most horrible people. Is they're such good manipulators. They know how to manipulate a situation to be in their favour. So that those are the people that I just can't stand. Nice, manipulative people, I cannot stand. Ever date someone with worse style than you? No, absolutely not. I remember also having an ex-boyfriend. I say ex-boyfriend, these were like when I was very young. I was probably like 12, 13. I was actually popular with boys back then. Nowadays I'm just, it's a flat line. It's really depressing. But would I ever date someone with worse style than me? No, I wouldn't. No. I remember my ex-boyfriend, whatever I'd done, we literally dated for like a week, but I remember even back then 12-year-old me broke up with him because he wore a Lightning McQueen t-shirt. And like, just like, why would you do that? You know, like why? Whereas now, if I was with a guy and he wore a Lightning McQueen t-shirt, I'd be like, aww, vintage. Back then I was like, ew, you fucking weirdo. Yeah, no, I don't think I could do it. Or like, they might have worse style than me, but like if they have worse style than me, but they understand their fashion sense, that's fine. If it's someone that doesn't understand their fashion sense at all and they wear black trainers with white socks or something, absolutely not. It would give me the ick and I wouldn't find them attractive at all after that point. Who was your first celeb crush? My first celeb crush. Okay, so when I thought I was straight, my first celeb crush was Jade from Victoria's, which is so funny because when I look at all my best friends after that point, they was all like kind of emos, and I don't think it was necessarily a crush. I think it was more a platonic crush, like I want to be friends with her, she looks really cool. But my brain couldn't decipher whether it was attracted to her or whether it was just wanting to be a friend. So then my first like boy crush was probably Shawn Mendes. That was like my first boy celeb crush, and probably he's still up there. I'd smash him now, you know. I'm old enough now. So Shawn Mendes, you know where I am. If the opportunity arises, I feel like he admitted that like he doesn't have a label or something. So smash. Do you think you give main character or side character energy in real life? Side character energy, major side character energy. I don't think people realise. On social media, I am quite confident and I speak a lot. On social media, I don't have to fight for the attention. You know, I don't have all these people around me and I have to fight for the attention. The attention is simply on me. When I'm in a group of people, I immediately notice that I can't fight for the attention right now because number one, I'm too quiet. Number two, I never know what to say. Number three, it's just not within my nature to do that. I think naturally I am just a side character energy person and I'm happy with that. Like I would love to have the ability to be a main character, but I know it's also not possible because it's just not me. Like it's never been me. Even like through school and stuff, I would never raise my hand because I didn't want to use my voice. And like even now, I struggle to speak louder. Like I don't have it within me to express my voice and be the loud one in the room. The only time that I really embody main character energy is after a little bit of alcohol and a dance floor, and that is when you see my main character energy shine, because I will not leave the dance floor for the entire night. In fact, I could probably have about 2 double vodkas and I won't drink for the rest of the night. A dance floor being at a party is probably the safest way for me to not get too drunk and throw up. Yeah. What's something that you used to care about that you don't care about anymore? I think actually doing this. I used to obsessively care about doing YouTube and doing TikTok and posting it to like all of my socials, and then like all the people from school would see, and then all the people I went to college with would see, and then it would just make me so anxious that people would know that I'm doing that. And it's one of those things where it's like they would only care about it until you're at a point where you're so famous that they'll be like, oh yeah, I went to school with him. Oh yeah, I went to college with him. I think I just care about people's opinions too much when it comes to me doing social media, because for all the time that I'm posting videos and like, yeah, the engagement is quite low and you know, there might not be many followers behind it, but when I get to the point that I know is coming, then it won't be an issue anymore. Then I'll be able to just post as I want and I don't have to care about the fact that that video might not do well, that video might not do well. And when it gets to that point, then I would look back and be like, I had no reason to even give a shit. And I think that's kind of what's happening now, where as much as my content isn't performing like 100% well, I'm not getting thousands of views in every single video, but I'm putting a lot of effort into it as if that was happening. And in return, there is videos becoming a lot more popular and there's more followers generating, and it's a slow burn up until a point where it's like it's going so well that I don't know why I even ever cared about anyone else's opinion. What's a completely useless talent that you have? I got these like aggressively long gangly fingers. I can just kind of put my hands in and just go like that. And I'll be like this for probably a good 2 minutes. A bit like a Rubik's Cube again. And then all the tangles will be gone. Literally just from me sitting there for like 2 minutes like this. If you had to live in a different era for style, which decade would you pick? I'm actually gonna go with the 80s because the two in my head was 70s and 90s. And I was like, well, I'll just go in between. Because in the 80s, there would have been like the remnants of 70s fashion. And then the 90s would have been the like, you know, the aftermath of the 80s. So yeah, I'm gonna say 80s. I think I would have thrived during the 80s. And also, Wham. I would have aggressively loved Wham back then, like going to all the concerts. Like, I mean, I would have probably been murdered at some point or maybe got AIDS, but either way, I think it's No, I'm joking. I'm literally the least sexually active person ever. There is no way I would get AIDS. What's your worst fashion purchase? Probably the entirety of 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. Do you actually plan outfits ahead or just throw things on? I envision outfits in my head a little bit like Clueless. You know, where like she has that thing at the start of the movie where like her outfit's just all pieced together. I envision it like that. And before I go out anywhere, I have to think about where I'm going. And I'm like, okay. So for example, it's like, oh, I'm going to the pub later. So it's usually just a t-shirt and jeans. But it depends because I've got very different styles of t-shirts and jeans. Like I've got baggy jeans and then I've got bootcut jeans, and I feel like bootcut jeans are when I'm like, I want to serve cunt. Baggy jeans is like, I want to serve, I don't give a fuck, but I'm also trying to give a fuck a little bit. Which trend do you secretly hate right now? I feel like everyone expects me to love Labubus, and it's not that I hate the trend. I don't hate the trend. I think it's an interesting trend because it shows how people are willing to spend as much money on something as long as it's promoted well, pretty much. So I don't hate Labubus, but people expect me to love Labubus and own Labubus. I don't own any Labubus, although I have been tempted to like get a Lafufu. No, I don't. I actually don't think I hate any trends. I'm really happy that all of a sudden in 2025 we're seeing like an influx in good fashion sense and people realizing that it's good to wear good clothes. There was an era from like 2016 to 2020 where people were just willing to buy a lot of fast fashion clothes, and you could tell because the fit of clothes was just awful all of the time. Like I felt like back then, when I look back then, everyone, maybe it was my age actually, because at this point I was obviously shopping in like the lower budget fast fashion shops like Primark, so a lot of my own outfits were just basic as fuck, but I also remember everyone else's outfits being basic as fuck. I felt like back then the like fashion era was just like NPC Sims 4 fashion. Like I don't remember it being anything quite cool. Whereas I look at it now and I'm like, no, I feel like people are cool now. Like I feel like everything's cool. I'm gonna fuck off now. I'm gonna go eat my dinner because I think we've got curry tonight. So, mango chutney and that. I'll see you all later. The dogs are going mental. Make sure to subscribe, like and comment by the way. Please, thank you. Bye.